Okay, so I'm working on just really integrating and understanding and getting a full picture and fleshing out this idea of the real estate vortex, of you being the real estate vortex, which is the whole concept is you creating and building your business in a way that integrates relationships and integrates everything you do into one powerful force that draws business to you. So you're not actually having to go out and constantly be pumping the pump and pumping the pump. And so what I've created is what I call the real estate vortex. And so this video is more for me to process my thoughts than it is for anything else. So this video may never be seen by another human being. I don't know how it's going to play out here. But here's kind of how the vortex is created. The whole concept of the vortex is it's a vortex like a whirlpool or a tornado or a cyclone, or in space they talk about vortices up in the universe and different, in galaxies and so forth. It is in a circular motion of energy that creates a tremendous force that literally draws or sucks everything into it. And the concept that I created, and I actually learned this I came up with a concept from a book called I think it's called The Sales Vortex by Teddy Garcia, that has to do with online marketing using sales funnels. And I'm not sure where I have that book laying around here, but I got it in here somewhere. But the book was absolutely phenomenal. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, How to Create a Sales Vortex. And so this is where I got the concept, is by Teddy Garcia and Jay Abraham, who's an online marketing genius, called How to Create a Sales Vortex that sucks in prospects and automatically converts them into lifelong raging champions. It's a really good book. And what I've done is kind of integrated in the ideas that I got out here into creating a real estate sales vortex, and a real estate vortex where it's not even about sales. It's about relationships and about connecting and positioning yourself as their go-to agent with a lot of people, so that you have business constantly going to you. So here's kind of the structure of the real estate vortex. You are the energy core of the vortex. You're the energy center. You are literally the eye of the storm. If you've seen the satellite views of hurricanes, it's this huge, massive storm, this huge rotating thing, and at the center of it is what we call the eye of the storm. You are the eye of the storm, where all the energy circulates around you. Now, when you build your real estate business right, you're not this way. Oh, and if you ever felt like you're just spinning around, if you've ever felt that way, then you're like, oh, things are going crazy. By the way, I'm going to turn on some lights here because we need a little more light to lighten this thing up. Okay, that helps. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so you're spinning around and you're just like, I feel like I'm going everywhere. And when you build your business right, you're the eye of the storm. Now, what's it always like in the eye of the storm? Totally calm. So you, as the energy core, maintain calm, you're centered, and you're present always. And you are the source of the energy, but you are not having to provide all of the energy, because what you're doing is you become the source where it all emanates out from you, and you draw in other power, and you're literally drawing the power of the universe, the power of relationships, and that power then all creates this huge pull to bring you business, people that you can help with their real estate needs in your life. So here's how it goes. There's really 5 levels or 5 parts of the real estate vortex. The first one is prospecting. Prospecting is where you're going out and initially you're going out and finding the business. You're going out and talking to people. We have to talk about there's 4 different types of lead sources that are really major, or I call them the 4 best ways to generate business. One is turbo leads. Turbo leads are the people that want to do something right now. For sale by owners, expireds, probates, divorce situations, notice of defaults, distressed sellers, and so forth, tend to be high. That means if you talk to 100 of them, you're talking to a very high profile, high likelihood they want or need to sell their property. So that's what I call turbo lead gen. Open house events is another great way. It's just it's a very traditional approach, and yet when you do it the way we teach you in the real estate vortex, it's not traditional at all. You do, instead of being an open house, it's an open house event, and there's just some things you do to structure it, set it up, that actually make it draw people to you. But the goal is to draw sellers to you, not just buyers. And then third is trickle lead generation, which basically is everything else. It's when you're going out and just randomly talking to people you don't know, like door knocking in a neighborhood and connecting with people that way. Making just what's traditionally called cold calling, although I refuse to acknowledge that the way you should do it is cold. It should be warm calling. But basically it's connecting with people by phone, with people you don't know. However, it's a very low return because you're talking to people that there's no relationship, there's no trust. There's no trust bridge, and here's you, here's them, and there's resistance typically that you're going to see. And so that's it's a trickle. It's a slower way to get business. Okay, marketing is what I call a trickle lead generation, which means it's passive. You're putting something out there. You're putting the word out there. In marketing, for better or for worse, it tends to cost money, and it tends to take time to get a return. Any kind of online marketing, that kind of stuff, is going to be trickle. That doesn't mean it's not going to work. It works. It just means it's not for the amount of people that you touch, it's not a real high return. It's typically not duplicatable, it's not predictable. It is at some level, but the bottom line is it takes longer. It may be more expensive, it may not, but this can be literally anything else. If you're doing mailings, if you're doing farming is a trickle lead generation. It takes a year to 2 years of consistently doing it. That even the proponents of farming, which I'm not a proponent of farming, and if you're in my coaching you'll learn why, that I'm a proponent of connecting and of positioning yourself with people. And farming may be a way to go out and do it, but there's a reason that it's not a long-term sustainable strategy, in my opinion, that's as good as some other strategies I'm about to show you. So you have the trickle lead generation. But here's the thing. All of this works, but here's what it is. Basically, all this is me or people that I hire or whatever. It's basically all on me to go out and find business and draw it to me. So here's you at the bottom of the thing. So number one is prospecting, and it's where you're going out and connecting with people. Number two is positioning, and that is now once you've connected with somebody, how do you position yourself with that person to be their agent so that they're no longer thinking of you as some agent, but they're thinking of you as my agent. You're no longer just a realtor, you're my realtor. That's called positioning. And I've never heard anybody else train on, you'll never hear anybody else train on positioning yourself, and the key and the power of going from being some realtor, we have some realtor, or we have a realtor, there's some realtor knocked on my door. You want them to be saying, my realtor came by today. Okay, you need to talk to my realtor, not I have a realtor you need to talk to. It's you need to talk to my realtor. So you want to have that positioning where you are their go-to agent and they feel that that is who you are, as you are their personal agent. That transition, that's called positioning. It's not branding. Branding is where they recognize your name. Okay, like Coca-Cola, Kleenex, IBM, Apple, we recognize their name. That's branding. Positioning is every time a new iPhone is released or any new Apple product is released, you're the one standing in line at the Apple store to get the latest. That means Apple, with that customer, Apple has positioned themselves to be the solution for your technology problems in your life. That's positioning. Okay, it goes beyond branding so that you recognize them. Positioning is where now that there's absolute die-hard customer loyalty. Well, sometimes you're called raving fans that you want to create. That's called positioning, and your goal is to position yourself with a group of people that I refer to as your personal circle. It's your circle, the people that you can build, you position yourself with and have a relationship with, that they become your word of mouth marketing machine, your WOM. Because you want this whole big circle, this whole spinning vortex to be a big one. WOM. It's a word of mouth marketing machine. So you're going to be positioning yourself. Now these are the things that draw business to you. You can either do it by your effort, which is prospecting, or you can do it by positioning yourself with people, and here's the beauty of it. Now, how would you like if you could hire 10 people? 10 people to go out and do all your prospecting for you. And even better, what if you could get those 10 people to go out and do it for free? Well, that's what positioning is. Because as you connect with people and you build relationships with them and you become my agent, you'll have people that are always going like, I'm always looking for business for you. I'm always looking for anybody that you can help, and I'll refer everybody I find that's looking at buying or selling. And you'll have those. I've heard them called your advocates. They're your core. I call them your A team. It's the people that you know they're always looking for business for you. Well, they're out and literally they now are the ones, when they see a for sale by owner, they're calling you. Okay? If they talk to the for sale by owner, they're saying like, oh, if you decide to, hire an agent, you got to talk to my realtor. That's because you position yourself. So you've got this personal circle that you're positioning yourself with, that now they are, imagine this huge vortex, and there it's this, the more people you have in it, the larger the spread, and it just draws everything toward its center. So relationships get drawn to you. Anytime a buyer or seller pops up, where there's somebody needing to buy or sell a property, they're going to get caught in the vortex. Why? Because you've got people that you've positioned yourself with who they now are creating more energy. So it's not just you. You're the energy source. You're the eye of the storm. What are you doing? The arrows here represent that you are constantly reaching out and connecting with these people. You're staying connected with the people that you already know so that you maintain that positioning, that what we call TOMA, T-O-M-A, top of mind awareness. By how are you doing it? Because I'm constantly reaching out and connecting it with them through the personal circle system that I teach my clients. And when you have that, you're constantly positioning, and then everybody that you get through these other things where you're reaching out and grabbing these people through turbo lead generation, trickle lead generation, or open house events. And by the way, social media, I'll just throw this in, also fits in as a trickle lead generation. Now once you get a relationship with somebody, then social media can become a part of this positioning. Okay, if you do it effectively, it is extremely powerful. Now, here, as you reach up and you connect with people, it doesn't take a lot of energy if you're just constantly doing it, because you're just constantly touching people and reaching out. The further you have to reach, the more of your personal energy is being expended. Now, this is a key. When you're prospecting, when you're going out and talking, these are all going out and trying to connecting with people you don't know. Well, every time you have to do that, it is all on you, and the energy that it requires is a very high level of energy. So the further you're from you as the eye of the storm, you in the center of your vortex where you're most powerful, the further you have to reach, the further you're extended, the more of your energy is consumed. So the beauty of building real estate vortex is the bigger this becomes, the less personal energy it takes, the more you're drawing on the connections and the energy of others who are also helping now draw business to you. The less of your own personal energy you're having to expend to go out and try to grab people that you don't know. This takes a lot of energy. It's very productive if you do it right. It's very profitable. But if you just do this and you're not building this, and here's the way, for years, here's the way I was taught and coached to do real estate. Go here. This is where all your business comes from. And then after that, you just have past clients and sphere of influence, and there was never really any emphasis on connecting with them and positioning yourself with their realtor, with them as their realtor. In other words, the reality was we never talked to them again after we closed the deal. It was all transactional. This is going after the transaction. In fact, mine was all focused right here. Turbo leads for sold by owners, expireds, probates, NODs. Go, 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 grab them. And it's very profitable because you can go get them fast, you suck them right through. And what you do now, the next three things after prospecting and positioning is presenting. That's when you're meeting with them, doing the listing presentation and basically inspiring them to hire you. Then performing. You do what you say you're going to do. Okay, you actually deliver the results. When there's a seller, you get the home sold for them for the best amount of money, the best amount of time with the least amount of hassle. You perform, and then at the end, once you perform, you get paid. You profit. Okay, and here's how we did it. We just I went up there, I grabbed them, I brought them down, zoom, and they went right through my vortex, and boom, just out the end, I grabbed the check from them, I grabbed the commission check as they passed on through in their life, and they went right on at the bottom of my vortex, never to be seen again. Now, be honest. How many of you have had clients that was the way you treated them? And after the deal was over, you hadn't really positioned yourself or built a relationship from the beginning, positioning yourself in their mind so that they're not just a transaction, but they are a constant source of business for the rest of your life. And one of the concepts that I've really gotten excited about and studied is understanding the lifetime value of a single client. Now, I've had some clients in my career that I can track. One client, Roy Thomas, and it was actually his daughter that first introduced me to him, that one client, through their repeated referral business, made me over $250,000. One client. Okay, multiple transactions. I think it was like 7 or 8 transactions that came as a result of one connection with one client. I've got other clients that have earned me over $100,000 because of constant, they use me over and over again. They referred me family to friends. And it was so amazingly powerful because it took such little effort because they were here and I wasn't having to reach all the way up there to try to grab somebody I didn't know. I had a connection. There was a trust. The trust gap had already been bridged. But if I had been strategic and I had gone after, taken every person that came into my vortex, and I had intentionally positioned myself, created that connection, and maintained it, and massaged it, finessed it, if I'd stayed in touch with them intentionally, there is no telling how many hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars that I leaked out through the bottom of my vortex. Because when you are doing this, as you're taking them and you're presenting and you're performing and you're profiting off helping them make a move, that at the end of it, if you notice down here at the very bottom of the vortex, the whole thing is you pulled them in through, as you now have a buyer or seller. When the transaction closes, they immediately circulate right back into your personal circle. They never leave your personal circle, and they never get outside of your vortex. They just circulate right back in. And the cool thing is, as they circulate back in, it adds strength and it adds energy. It just grows, and the vortex gets bigger and bigger, like a hurricane that just expands larger and larger, and its pull becomes more powerful. It's an absolutely amazing thing when you understand that. Now, here's another thing. Is that when you're prospecting, every person that you get a connection with, and literally it's as simple as this, when you get their name and you get their phone number and email address and so forth, immediately they are now a part of your personal circle. So your responsibility is to now maintain that connection, strengthen it, and position yourself in their mind as their go-to agent. Now, is that going to happen with everybody? No, it's not going to happen with everybody. You're going to have people out on the fringes of your personal circle that you may or may not ever get a deal from. You can't really predict what's going to happen with them, but you want it out there, and the wider you can create your vortex. And the cool thing is, the wider it goes, it does not take more energy. If you're connecting from the inside out, it requires no more energy for you to have 300 people or 3,000 people or 30,000 people in your vortex when you do it right. And that's one of the things that my clients, as I coach on, is how do you create that, you extend it without extending yourself. This is where you're extending yourself. When you're out there generating your own leads from people you don't know, it's constantly expending more of your energy, because you're reaching outside of your vortex and you're trying to grab people, and now you're making connections with people who don't know you. You got to bridge that trust gap. See, whenever I've got somebody in my personal circle and they refer somebody to me, that connection is the trust gap. Okay, it's already bridged. In fact, if I could draw it out like this, I'm just going to draw it this way. Here's this person here, and I'm just going to do it even simpler than that. And again, like I said, I'm making this up as I go here, so I'm just trying to figure out ways to communicate this that are powerful. Here is a for sale by owner, and they're a dot. And here's you, and you're a dot. Okay? You've got to connect the dots. Okay? The hardest thing to do when you're out prospecting people you don't know is connecting that dot with what I would refer to as my blue line. The blue line represents trust. Blue is a color they say represents trust in relationships, right? So the hardest thing is to take from here and to bridge that with trust. However, when I've got somebody in my personal circle, and they know this person, there's already a connection. Now watch this. Here's the person in my personal circle. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So I've got the person in my personal circle here, and that's them. Here's me, and here's this person I don't know. Okay, so let's do it this way. Alright, so we're going to say, because you're pink, so this is you. This is the person you know. Now, what do you have with this person in your personal circle? You already have an established relationship. You're already connected with them with a line of trust, with credibility. Okay? Now, you're not connected to this person. But if this person is connected with this person and they have a relationship of trust, when this person introduces you to them, guess what's already intact? A line of trust, a line of credibility. I'm not having to go out and talk to this person directly and me try to bridge this gap and me try to create the trust. It's already established. This is the power of a third party. This is your first party, this is the third party. Because this is the second party. The power of the third party referral, the power of third party credibility, the power of third party edification, in other words, where they're building you up. See, I can't tell them I'm great. I mean, I can, but guess what? They don't believe you, right? They're not going to, when you say you're great, people don't believe you. But when somebody else says you're great, people believe them. It's the power of third-party referral or third-party edification. Third-party credibility is absolutely huge. This is why I train agents to get testimonials, and I teach some really some huge ninja strategies for how you get video testimonials and how you get a lot of them, how you get this every time you work with a client, how to get a minimum of 5 powerful connections with other people that you don't know that are maybe looking to buy or sell a house. How do you do that? Because if you do that, you're bringing this person and you're bringing them into your personal circle. Now you've got the opportunity to build that connection and establish yourself as their agent. It's all about positioning. You've heard the phrase, always be closing, ABC in sales, always be closing. You see, to me, it's not about always be closing, it's always be connecting and then always be positioning. Connecting is you reaching up and staying connected to the people that you know, which takes very little effort. It takes very little energy. Does it take effort? Yes, it takes effort. Does it take some time? Yes, it takes some time. But doesn't require the same amount of energy as going out and talking to people you don't know, because I'm already talking to people that trust me. And it's a huge difference in that. So the 5 levels of it is prospecting, which requires the most amount of energy from you. And then second is positioning. Third is presenting. You position yourself as the go-to agent. So when they're ready they do need somebody to buy or sell, you're the agent. You present, they hire you, you perform, and then you profit. And then you just repeat the process. Okay? Now the cool thing is the more you position yourself with more people and as that personal circle grows, they become your prospecting magnet. And they're the ones that go out and connect the dots from you to the people that they know, and all that just expands your vortex. It becomes bigger and more powerful, and it doesn't require more effort on your part, except the fact you got to do more listing presentations, you got to negotiate more transactions, and you got to make more money. But guess what? There's a system for that. As you do this, you then can leverage a team, you can leverage other people to help make it more profitable without it taking more effort from you. So you look at the mega agents on the planet, the very best of the best. They are the energy source, they are the core, they are the eye of the storm, but they are not spinning around like a chicken with their head cut off, totally out of control, trying to catch all the flying paperwork going around them, okay? Because they've learned how to be the eye of the storm, to be centered, to be clearly focused, and have absolute clarity. See, when you're in the eye of the storm, you have clarity, and you can see everything going around you, and you can watch it, and you're like it's like the Wizard of Oz behind the green curtain. You're the one controlling everything. Okay? And you're there behind the curtain, calm, collected, centered, and making all of this happen through authentic relationships and positioning yourself with people that, and well, now watch this. If you don't start with this, this won't work if you don't have enough relationships. So you may have to, you're going to go out, unless you already have a huge network of relationships, you're probably going to have to go prospect. Okay, once you're doing it, when you're positioning, if you don't take the effort to keep yourself connected and positioned, you're not going to get business. Because see, number one, if they don't know you, if you haven't connected with them, if they don't know you, they won't hire you. And number two, if they don't remember you, because you're not positioning, you're not continually staying connected, if they don't remember you, they won't refer you. But if they know you, that's first is connecting, and they remember you, that's positioning, then they're going to use you and they're going to refer you all the time. Absolutely off the chart. So there's 5 levels. Prospecting, positioning yourself. Positioning yourself becomes the most powerful of all of this, because positioning yourself is now where you got all, not only your energy, but others' energy and all this power at work to draw business to you. Then presenting, it's the most critical, because it's the point where you actually bring them into the funnel that's actually going to make you money. If you don't know how to deliver and communicate that you can deliver, it's not going to happen. This is the point where you're inspiring them to make a decision to hire you. If you're positioned well, it's way easier. Okay, and then once you do that, you got to perform. If you don't deliver the results and do what you say you're going to do, if you don't know how to do that, then you're obviously in trouble. But that can be learned. Performing and then obviously profiting is just a natural last stage, and that's where you win, and because you've helped them to win and accomplishing what they want with their real estate, and then the cycle just repeats itself. And the cool thing is, as everything that goes through your vortex, if you're maintaining the positioning and connecting, all of that just makes this vortex more powerful and stronger, and the rotation and the rotation and the reach just expands to draw more business to you, to allow you to impact more people's lives and have the lifestyle you want. So that's it. So I'm going to end this video the way I end a lot of my videos. Embrace life. Engage opportunity because it's everywhere. Play to win at level 10 and always expect yes.